hip-hop has its roots in funk, or what James Brown, Sly and the Family Stone, and George Clinton of Parliament Funkadelic gave. And it also has its roots in reggae or raga. We're starting with I-Roy, U-Roy, and Hu-Roy. And myself, Afrika Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash, Cool DJ Hurt, all are West Indian background. Cool Hurt's Jamaica, myself Jamaica and Barbados, and Grandmaster Flash Barbados.
Okay, you from Barbados as well?
Yes, my roots is in Barbados. My mother from Barbados side, my father's side from Jamaica.
Oh, well, we share the same roots then. My mother's from Barbados, my dad's from Jamaica.
All right, and it all goes back to Africa.
Peace, you know who this is. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell. Also, family, make sure you donate to me if you can on the Cash.App, or you can donate to me on the PayPal. It'll be much appreciated if you can. Now onto the video, and I know it hurts. I know it hurts, FBA. FBA, I know it hurts. Freedmen, ADOS, all you other goofies, I know it hurt bad. But you just got to deal with it. The godfather of hip-hop has spoken. The holy trinity of hip-hop is West Indian. You just got to deal with it. There's nothing you can say to refute that. There's nothing you can say. This has been known knowledge for over 50 years. 50 years. So you would have to try to debunk 50 years of history, with the people who made the history all still alive, who can refute you in real time. And there's nothing you can do or say that goes against what they say. I know it hurts. It hurts bad, but it's about to hurt some more. Because Bambaataa is going to explain to you the musical influences that help him and others put together hip-hop. Here we go, family. Let's watch this.
So tell us about some of the musical influences that influenced you back in the day, you know, when you were starting out.
Well, I was heavy into the Motown stack sound, meaning the Supremes, the Temptations, the Jackson 5, the Marvelettes, and the King of Soul, James Brown. The man who changed black music was the music before him and the music after him, Sly and the Family Stone, George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic, the Isley Brothers, Curtis Mayfield, Aretha Franklin, the list could go on, the Barcades, and then in soca and calypso it was the Mighty Sparrow, Lord Kitchener, Calypso Rose, the Mighty Shadow, so many groups over there. And then you had in reggae, I-Roy, U-Roy, Hu-Roy, Trinity, Yellow Man was one of the first biggest stars that started traveling out. In hip hop, you couldn't get a day of not playing a song without playing Yellow Man. It was through the Zulu Nation that we never gave up our roots and let everybody know in hip hop, you know, here's the reggae. We playing the reggae. We played the soca. We played our salsa, our Latino roots, because Latinos was also us. So all the Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, some of the Mexicans and all that, their roots is also back with us also. So we just kept all that alive to let everybody know, you know, this is culture. And putting the B-boys, the B-girls, the rappers, the MCs, the aerosol writers, graffiti artists all together under the banner of the Universal Zulu Nation to make culture. And as we progressed on, we added what we call the infinity lessons and giving knowledge to the hip-hop culture. Thus became the birth of the fifth element of hip-hop, which is knowledge, culture, overstanding, which is truly the first element, because without knowledge, you wouldn't know how to B-boy or B-girl or breakdance, as they say, or you would bust your neck, your backside. Without knowledge, you would not know how to spray paint and not let the paint drip and get all mushy, smashy all over the place. Without knowledge, you wouldn't know how the MCs move your lips know how to breathe or take a breath or when to spit the words out. So knowledge is the fifth element, but it's also really the first element.
Thank you for that history lesson, Afrika Bambaataa. We really needed that, and we really appreciate it. I did not know about all those acts that influenced y'all. I didn't know you was influenced by Motown like that. I didn't know you was influenced by soca, reggae, and salsa. to that degree. I knew you played it because you know the FBA goofballs, they was like, oh, no one played reggae or salsa or anything like that back then because they couldn't do it. You had to play like James Brown and that's it. That's the only thing you could play or you'll get booed. All that nonsense, all that cap. But anyway, why would people even challenge this notion? This is 50 years of history that people are challenging right now. Why? They're challenging it because of the FBA hate group ideology, which is really the ADOS ideology, which is about attacking black immigrants and everything black immigrants have ever done. That's what this is about. That's what it's really about. And also supporting the Republicans. So I want everybody, again, I know some people might get tired of seeing this, but hey, this is for the new people. And again, if you saw it already, you can skip it. That's what the timestamps are for. This is going to, right now what I'm showing, is going to be the history and the timeline and the purpose of FBA. Here we go, family. Check it out. So I want to take this time to actually explain how this whole ideology came to be. Because remember, FBA comes out of ADOS. It's a splinter group, but they still hold on to the ideology. So for you to really understand why FBA operates the way it operates and why they believe what they believe, we must first go back. I'm going to play a clip of Tariq Nasheed when he first started repping ADOS, then known as DOS.
Tonight. You say Yvette Carnell made up the DOS term. That's a good term. I'll take my hat off to her. The DOS term is a very good term. I actually like that. Descendants of slaves or descendants of slavery. Very good term. Now, I like that term. You know, I have my differences with Yvette Carnell, but sometimes people do good things. I like that term. American DOS, descendants of slaves, descendants of slavery. All right. I'm here. That's a very good codified term. I like that. And we need to jump on terms like that. You dig? Shout out to Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore. One thing I do commend them about, and Antonio, I've seen some of his videos. He brings good information. You know, they speak up for the African or the Black American experience.
As you heard, family, Tariq is such a grifter that he was trying to steal the term, but somebody in the audience, several people actually, in the live stream audience, made it clear that, hey, that's Yvette Carnell's term. And he had to acknowledge it. You could see it in his face that he didn't want to do it, but he had to. He tried to steal the term in true grifter fashion. So as time would go on, he got down with ADOS. He got down with them, and then he started trying to push his own thing, which at first was Native Black American, but then he realized, hey, I can't trademark this. So he went back, and he couldn't get that to pop. So he went back to ADOS, and then he came up with the bright idea of foundational Black American, something that he could trademark and he could push. And remember, when he did that, he was still preaching that foundational Black American and ADOS is the same thing. Two terms that mean the same thing. Before he started beefing with Yvette Carnell and ADOS, and he made it a full-blown splinter group, But he still held on to the ADOS ideology. And what is the ADOS ideology, and who is Yvette Carnell? Well, Yvette Carnell is the founder and leader of ADOS. This is her, as you see on your screen right now, with the MAGA hat. She created DOS, which now is ADOS, in about 2016, 2017. Around the same time, she was a board member for PIFA. What is PIFA? Progressives for Immigration Reform. And all you have to do is go to irs.gov and you can look them up. They're a tax-exempt organization. You can get their tax records. And then when you look it up, there you see Yvette Carnell, Director. Yvette Carnell, Secretary. Yvette Carnell, Secretary again. That's right, Yvette Carnell. She was a board member, a high-ranking board member of a hate group. And some will say, well, show me that PIFA is a hate group. Because you're showing me that she's a board member, but you're not showing me that it's a hate group. Well, I'm going to do that for you right now. And we're going to start at the beginning with the man himself, John Tanton. He's now deceased, but he is the father of the modern anti-immigrant movement. Now, let's just read about him a little bit. John Tanton was the racist architect of the modern anti-immigrant movement. He created a network of organizations, the Federation for American Immigration Reform, the Center for Immigration Studies, and Numbers USA, that profoundly shaped the immigration debate in the U.S. About John Tanton. A retired Michigan ophthalmologist, Tanton had white nationalist beliefs and wrote that to maintain American culture, a European American majority is required. In his own words, I've come to the point of view that for European American society and culture to persist requires a European American majority, and a clear one at that. December 10, 1993, a letter to the late Garrett Harding, a controversial ecology professor. Now that we have learned about the racist architect of all this anti-immigrant bigotry that we see now we need to learn about the organizations he created and the networks that they spawn. Federation for American Immigration Reform. The Federation for American Immigration Reform, FAIR, is a group with one mission: to severely limit immigration into the United States. Although FAIR maintains a veneer of legitimacy that allows its principals to testify in Congress and lobby the federal government, this veneer hides much ugliness. FAIR leaders have ties to white supremacist groups and eugenicists and have made many racist statements. Its advertisement has been rejected because of its racist content. FAIR's founder, the late John Tanton, has expressed his wish that America remains a majority white population, a goal to be achieved presumably by limiting the number of non-whites who enter the country. One of the group's main goals is to upend the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965, which ended a decades-long racial quota system that limited immigration mostly to Northern Europeans. FAIR's president, Dan Stein, has called the act a mistake. And now that we have some background information on FAIR, the flagship organization, now we're going to learn about PIFA's connection to FAIR. The same PIFA that Yvette Carnell was a board member of, that she only resigned from being a board member of after she got outed and exposed for being a board member of PIFA, and people started to realize, hey, PIFA is just a white nationalist front. And she left them to maintain some level of legitimacy, even though I don't understand how she could maintain any legitimacy for being a part of a white nationalist front group, especially at that high of a rank. Because there's no way you're that stupid that you didn't realize what was going on. You knew. But she left to maintain some level of legitimacy. But here, we're going to get some background information into PIFA. Many speakers at PIFA's events have links to John Tanton, the racist founder of the modern anti-immigrant movement. Representatives from Numbers USA and the Center for Immigration Studies, groups founded by Tanton, participated. The incestuous nature of the Tanton network was embodied in the person of PIFA's executive director, Leah Durant, who formerly was employed by FAIR's legal arm, the Immigration Reform Law Institute. FAIR, which the Southern Poverty Law Center lists as a hate group, was founded by Tanton, who still serves on the group's board. For a time, Durant also was a part of Choose Black America, a FAIR front group supposedly representing the interests of African Americans concerned with high levels of immigration. The group disintegrated not long after its first press conference, which was paid for and stage managed by FAIR. Now, why is this so significant? It's significant because it shows that, one, FAIR is a hate group, and PIFA is a front group for that hate group. So PIFA is also a hate group. And more alarming is that PIFA and FAIR both go out their way to create African American groups to be fronts for them. Because if you don't know, Leah Durant is black. And as you just heard me, they created a black group just for her. They have created, platform, hired, and just signal boost many black organizations. Why? Because their number one strategy is to make black people the face of the anti-immigrant movement. To say, look, it's not racist. Look, we got black people saying that we have a problem with immigration too. That's what makes this so alarming. That's their whole thing. Be anti-democrat and be anti-immigration. To make black people the front group for that. Now it's starting to click for y'all. Why ADOS, Freedmen, and FBA, all they talk about all day is anti-democrat nonsense, and they also talk about anti-immigrant nonsense all day. That's all they do. That's all they do. If you look at all their timelines, it's just about how do we attack the Democrats, how do we launder the behavior of the Republicans, and how do we attack immigrants, especially black immigrants. Because that's another way they can really, really prove that, hey, this is not racial, because not only are black people out in front of the anti-immigrant movement, they are also attacking black immigrants the most. So this is not racial. This is just, Americans being concerned about immigration levels. Now it's clicking, right? It's clicking. Where Tariq went from hitting colors to now he hates black immigrants. And he loves Trump and the Republicans. It's starting to click now. Remember, he got this ideology from Yvette Carnell. Yvette Carnell, who works for PIFA. She used to work for PIFA. Not just work for them, a board member of PIFA. A white nationalist front group that goes around creating black groups to launder their behavior. And to better show you another example of how PIFA and FAIR uses these black organizations and creates them, I'm going to touch on the Black American Leadership Alliance. And we're going to show you how PIFA uses them. What Bala did not say in that letter or during a press conference in April when it called itself the African American Leadership Council was anything about its provenance. There's a good reason for that. It turns out that Bala is simply the latest front group for FAIR, the flagship of a network of anti-immigrant organizations founded by the white nationalist John Tanton. When it first emerged in April, Bala was openly sponsored by another FAIR front called PIFA, purportedly an organization concerned about the environmental impact of immigration. As late as June, the media spokesperson and phone number listed on Bala's press releases were associated with PIFA. Bala is not the first African American front group formed by FAIR. In 2006, an organization called Choose Black America appeared on the scene. Its black members were selected, flown to press conferences in Washington, lodged there by FAIR. The group's spokesman was a white FAIR official. Though CBA fell apart soon after its debut, the Taunton Network's dream of appearing to represent a rainbow coalition did not die with it. In 2011, FAIR briefly sponsored Blacks for Equal Rights Coalition, a LA-based anti-immigrant organization that has been celebrated by the white supremacist Council of Conservative Citizens. Bala's members includes a familiar cast of Taunton allies, notable among them Leah Durant, an African-American lawyer who is also PIFA's executive director. Durant, who once worked for FAIR's legal arm, also spoke at the press conference held to announce the creation of CBA. As you've seen, family, this looks so familiar. ADOS, FBA, Freedmen, they're looking a lot like the CBA and Bala and all the other organizations. Because we didn't even talk about U.S. blacks, all that. And as you also heard, Tanton's dream was to create a quote-unquote rainbow coalition of anti-immigrantness. Where he and all his rainbow quote-unquote coalition consisted of was trying to hire black people and platform black people to be anti-immigrant and to spew racist white talking points about immigrants. and say nothing about white immigrants. Attack Democrats and be silent on Republicans. Don't this look familiar? This is what I've been telling y'all for years. This has always been the case with this group. They are a hate group. Remember. Yes, family. This is the outro. Because I said everything I needed to say. Well, actually, Bambaataa said everything I needed to say. So I'm going to end it here. You know, I'm tired of the ADOS FBA tears. So, you know, I'm going to end it here. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, drop me a comment on what you think. Yes, make sure you definitely drop a comment. Drop that comment. Also, like the video and also donate to me if you can. Any donation is appreciated. $1, $2. And on top of that, I do take requests. So if you want a certain type of video, you can hit me up and I will do the video for you. And I'll let you know how much you got to pay me to do it. And I will end this video here. Like, share, subscribe, drop me a comment, tell me what you think. And on that note, family, peace.